I love this movie. Honestly, I really do. So I'm gonna try to be as objective as I can be, but it's gonna be hard. I got a lot of stuff to talk about. Suicide Squad. My bad. My bad. The Suicide Squad. All right, you already know how I go, right? Off the back of 2016, they explain what the Suicide Squad is, even if you didn't already know from DC Comics, right? So one thing, before I get started, I want to point out that they don't really insult our intelligence. They just get on with it. And it moves very quick, especially in the beginning. You got Amanda Waller being the cold, necessary evil that she is. That works. It always worked. Move on. Viola Davis, perfect.
Deal. Successfully complete the mission, you get 10 years off your sentence.
She sends the Suicide Squad on a mission to Corto Maltese. It's an island, and there's this facility that they have in there by the name of Jotunheim. Let me explain this. Corto Maltese is ran by a dictatorship. If you speak ill, if you get on their radar in a bad way, they send you and everybody you love, they send you there to die. You fuck up, you disappear. Nobody knows what happens. You just know that you go to Jotunheim. It kind of keeps everybody in line. But what we find out, it's a little deeper than that. I want to say, like, in the basement of the facility, there's a big ass starfish. That's the only way I know how to explain it. There's a big ass starfish. But it's not just any regular starfish, right? It's 1,000 feet tall, and it could kind of shit out like mini starfish. It sticks to your face, and you're kind of mind controlled. It's kind of like a hive mind. It kind of like zombies. All right, I'm gonna explain it better. All right, just give me a minute. I got it. All right. Think of the face huggers episode in Rick and Morty, right? They stick to your face, and it's just, it has a human body, but it's stuck to your face, right? You would think that the suicide mission for the Suicide Squad is to go in and kill that monster, but it's not. And this is the clever thing that I like about it. This is the difference between a Suicide Squad movie and a superhero movie, okay? Waller only sends them to that building to burn that bitch down. But the reason that they sent there is not because of the monster. They're there because the U.S. had a hand in creating that monster. They're sent there to tear it down so that any evidence that the U.S. had a hand in this, whatever this thing is, she wants that to disappear. They end up going to do that, and they're burning the building down. But the biggest conflict is not the starfish. The biggest conflict is that Rick Flag, he finds out that the U.S. had a hand in this. And his plan is to take the evidence and to notify the U.S. populace of what their government, the shady and shiesty shit that their government has done and still continues to do. I like that because he's not a supervillain. He's somebody that served his country, and this is the shit that they do. He felt betrayed. The best part about this is that he wasn't supposed to go and find that out. That's not what they were there for. But he does find that out, and it sets a couple more things in motion, right? The only people that knew that the U.S. had a hand in this, besides the U.S., was Waller, and she told Peacemaker. Peacemaker was the only one within the Suicide Squad that had any knowledge of that, and he was supposed to make sure that within them tearing down this facility, any evidence that the U.S. had a hand in would get destroyed too. So what I'm hitting at is he does double cross them, but it's a double cross in a different way. I'm gonna explain it, right? Peacemaker does kill Rick Flag, and most movies do have a double cross in it, especially within the team. There's two specific reasons why I loved it, and it was unpredictable. All right, there's a lot more reasons, but I'm just gonna try to pick the two main ones, and then if you watched it or when you go watch it, get in the comments and let me know what I skipped over. All right, number one, there was a little static between Peacemaker and Dubois, Idris Elba's character, which I absolutely loved. And it made the most sense, right? But nothing between him and Rick Flag. And the reason why is because Peacemaker is a bad guy, but he's a vigilante, right? So he will kill whoever necessary to maintain peace. That's why he doesn't respect Dubois. Dubois kills for money.
Oh yeah? At least I don't kill men for money like you.
To him, that's not a justifiable cause. It's not a justifiable reason to take someone's life. But he respects Flag. He even calls him a hero. And he doesn't want to do it. Actually, he gives him a chance to hand over the drive so he can destroy it and they can go home.
That information gets out, it causes an international incident. Keeping the peace is worth any price, including the life of a hero like yours, sir. So please, don't make me do this.
But that's the hill that Rick Flag wants to stand on. He had to, I guess. Number two, I love it because it falls in line with their characters, both of their characters. I mentioned that he would do anything for peace, even killing somebody that he sees as a hero. We knew that all throughout the movie. That's why he does what he does. That's where he gets the name Peacemaker from. And another reason, I guess it's part of the second reason, because he didn't plan on doing this. this. If everything went as planned, if Rick never found out, everything would have been destroyed. They would have went home. She let him know as a precaution, as an extra measure to make sure the shit got done. It went off script a little bit. Rick found out. Now he has to. That kind of writing, I understand that. I saw it as interesting. I was like, honestly, I've never seen that before. So they took something cliche and ubiquitous, but used it to a very effective manner. It takes a drastic turn, but it's consistent with the characters and who they are. I gotta give them props for that. Now, where it did get a little villainy, or they took it a little bit too far, is when he caught Ratcatcher a little fine ass, right? He's standing over her. It was kind of like, you don't have to kill. You know what I mean? You had to kill him, but I mean, her, you could just take it from her. But I understand why they did that. Static between him and Dubois, and he just killed Rick Flag. They couldn't exactly let him get away. And Dubois sees this, him standing over Ratcatcher, about to kill her, and then he kills him. How do we get there? I'm gonna explain that kind of later. That's one of the things that I didn't like about this movie, but we're gonna move on. That's the plot. I don't really want to go too far into it because honestly, if you haven't seen it, you should not be. Go see it. I do recommend it. They come back. Why not? But James Gunn, he did his Dougie on this one. The cast was perfect. Ratcatcher, whatever her name is, she's asleep, but she's a huge standout when it comes to this one. Even amongst the other actors that we do get. Now her backstory, I didn't ask. I didn't care. But we got it. Not too bad. I like the backstory. But I will say I did fall in love with her. Not her character, with her. Yeah, her character. She brought that kind of kid aspect to it, you know, like that lovable kid, like she needs to be protected at all times. But I care for all of these characters. I was invested in all of these characters. They dropped the ball on Dubois and his daughter's relationship. They let you know a lot of things in the beginning. It's not what you think it is if you've only seen the trailer. Not at all what you think it is, but they dropped the ball on that because it sets up some good stuff, the sentimental value of it, because you do feel a certain type of way once you see that, but it goes nowhere. The rest of the main cast, I was invested. I cared what happened to them. Shit, in the beginning, a lot of them was just expendable. James Gunn had you scared that all of them was expendable. Now let's get on the hard. I did not see Birds of Prey. I don't know her as a comic character. So for me, she was kind of annoying. A lot of things I wasn't feeling. But what I will say is Margot Robbie does a great job. I pretty much get the premise and the point of her, especially in these movies too. Margot Robbie does a great job, but didn't really too much care about Harley Quinn. And honestly, she wasn't the focal point of this one. I don't know if she was. I know she was in Birds of Prey. That's pretty much her movie. But this one, she wasn't the focal point. I wouldn't say she was an ancillary character, but she did her job. There's a couple scenes where they actually show that she's crazy. That's one thing I was scared about, is them making everybody damn near a hero. Yeah, no. She's a murderer. They really took advantage of this R rating, and I like that because don't be scared. I understand it. You can make a lot of money. You can be a blockbuster hit and be rated R. I mean, it's not for kids, but you can still do it. So hopefully this set things on the right path, because a Wolverine movie always should be rated R. Deadpool, Suicide, it should always be rated R. So hopefully we just keep going with that. But let's get back on track. The character building was on point, even though most of them died. And the cast was on point, even though most of them died. You like a lot of these characters, but you'll probably never see them again. I like that it's a revolving door. One of the biggest things, I don't remember too much about 2016 Suicide Squad, but Rick Flag is not a hard ass. He's not so serious all the time. I like that. It seems like he's having fun in here. I was sad to see him go, honestly. Don't let me forget about Waller. I'm pretty sure I said this before, but I gotta put it in stone. Viola Davis, perfect. She's even funny in this movie. The fact that she's so serious but can make you laugh like that, we needed that. She a bad motherfucker though, but she funny. King Shark, he bring the laughs too. He's just dumb as hell. He's like the Hulk of the group. Less of a bitch though, but comedy on point. Action. They got some big set pieces. A lot of it is CGI, so I'm gonna mix action and CGI together. The CGI was on point. There's a couple times where I was like, oh my God. But it brought a laugh, so it kind of glossed over it more times than not when you saw it. Now there's a couple things that you can't do practically. And there's a couple of things that just doesn't look right, whether you got perfect CGI or not. If it's not practical, you're going to tell to the CGI. But honestly, that's not the point. King Shark, I'm pretty sure he's nothing but CGI, and he looks perfect, 100 through and through, the whole movie. Jotunheim falling, it's a big-ass building, literally chopped in half falling, looked great. Starfish looked great, and that coupled with the action, it all meshed well together. Now, there were a couple fight scenes where it kind of got choppy, but there's only a couple. Idris Elba, when he was doing stuff, when Peacemaker was doing stuff, it's not the Raid, but I didn't have a problem with it. I was actually keeping up, and I liked it. Now, let's talk about one action scene. This was clever, right? So WWE is where John Cena made his name. He's been in WWE, I don't know, as long as I've been alive. I just turned 20. As long as I can remember, he's always been in WWE. And they used that to a great effect in here. He was fighting Ric Flag. And I love how we saw it through the reflection of his helmet. But you can literally, like, it's round and it's chrome, but you can see what's happening. You can feel the impact of what's happening. And you can see it looks kind of like some WWE shit. I don't know. I might be the only one that really loved that, but I did. It brought me back to my childhood a little bit. So action good, CGI good, comedy great. The jokes were not cheap. Not every joke land. No movie, every joke's gonna land. Like the one with Polka Dot Man and his mom, they used it a little bit too much. I wasn't mad at it, but I wasn't laughing anymore. So with all that, I love this movie. It is a great movie, but I do have to point out the flaws. And some of the flaws are just in your face. It is full of cliche. I told you I would bring you back. A lot of things coincidentally go right. People get captured, they don't get killed. Not really feeling that. When people die, you know they're gonna die. You know it's coming. You see it's coming. Not far ahead in the movie. It's not too predictable. You know somebody's gonna, you know a lot of people's gonna die, but when they do die, it's like, you could have avoided that. Bloodsport. He saved Ratcatcher, but she was supposed to be dead. You go to shoot somebody, why are you standing there? Like, just standing there pointing it. I was told if you're gonna point it, you better use it. You know what I mean? Don't play with that shit. Peacekeeper did. He lost his life for it. Like I said, they dropped a couple balls when it came to certain things that I feel maybe they should have expounded on, but that's not too big of a deal. But I feel like they could have done more with it. The runtime, it did feel a little long, especially in the middle. I would say watching Harley's part. Now, she did go on a monologue that, oh my God, I love that. And that, like I said, it shows you how crazy she is. But a lot of her parts, I feel like they went on maybe a little too long. With all that being said, if I had to give this a grade, I would give it an 8 out of 10. There was much more good than bad. And even if it did match up, the good would outweigh the bad. Usually that's backwards, but it would because the good was so good. Where it excelled exceptionally. Where it was bad, it was kind of just like, we could have done without that. Seen it a million times. It wasn't like, oh no, you fucked up. No, I've never said that watching this movie. And usually that's what my brain is geared towards. Like I said, the good outweighed the bad. This was very fun and rewatchable. I'm gonna go watch it again after I'm done with this actually. Disclaimer. This is not for kids. Language, nudity, and a lot of gore. Let me say it again. This is not a family-friendly movie. If you got little kids, if you got a squeamish dog, don't watch this together. But if you want to have a fun time, if you want to laugh, go see this. One last thing. Spoiler.